Okay, so we are going to do this again and see if we can get better internet connection. Happy Wednesday, St. Patrick's Day, hence the green that I pulled out of the bottom of my drawer. I haven't worn this in probably years. So we're going to do a sit break today, and we're going to work on the shoulders. We're going to see if we can get our shoulders to open up today. We're going to stretch our hips a little bit and get a nice sit break for the day. All right, so we're going to take the hands, place them behind the back, clasp gently, bring those arms back, the shoulders back, the scapula together and down. Keep the head on top of the body. We want to have the good alignment that we're always working on. And we're just going to begin to lift those arms slightly off the back, off the back of the body. Just a couple of times to start to warm those arms up and get those shoulders back, especially if you've been forward all day or you've been rounded at your desk. This definitely will help. So we can do this 10 to 15 times, nice and easy. Make sure you're breathing and have good form. You're zipped up in your core. And we're going to add on. So the next thing we're going to do is take our legs about hip distance apart. And we'll stand strong. Actually, before we go into our forward bend, let's go ahead and take our feet just a little bit further than hip distance apart, not too far, because I want you to be able to feel confident in the fold over. We're going to hinge forward from our hips, from our natural hip hinge, and we're going to take this forward bend to stretch the back of the body, but we're going to keep the arms in this position, which are really going to open up the shoulders and the chest there. And as we lift those arms off the back a few more times, just continuing that motion, we're starting to restore some of that shoulder opening and mobility there. The next thing that we're going to do from here, if you can see, I'm going to have my legs or my toes turn more in. And I'm going to lift my heels and press my heels out. So the toes are exaggerated in, the heels are exaggerated out, and we're going to fold over a little bit more if we can. We'll get a nice fresh supply of blood coming to our brain. We want to keep that zip up at the center so that you don't feel like you're heavy on your head or your shoulders, that your center of gravity is stabilizing you. And holding there, you can just continue to lift. You don't even have to lift. You can have your arms behind your back, just keeping those shoulders open and the chest open just a little bit instead of rounding so much. So you should feel a good stretch across the feet, the top of the feet, the side of the legs there, nicely zipped up. And I'm going to turn to the front because I want to show you this next position that I'm going to do. So I'm going to take the toes and now turn them out, and then heels out, and then toes out one more time, which has just gotten me a little bit wider stance here. So I'm going to have now the toes face out, and I still have this natural hinge. So remember, we're always hinging from the hips, never from the back. So if you're doing a fold over this way, I'm not sure what that is. Don't do that. We want to do a hinge from your natural hips. That's the hinge that we're doing, and we're working on that. If you're super tight, those hamstrings, take some time through that. You're going to build up to being able to get into this forward position from your natural hinge. And once you've gotten to that position, we can now take this with the toes facing out, and we can go side to side. And we can add this movement here, making this a little bit more dynamic. So we can stretch side to side, make sure we're breathing. This is a great sit break. It's a great way to release hips that are tight from seated for a long period of time, moving side to side in this way. You don't have to go very deep. Just listen to your body. And you can press and push, pull from your muscles. Make sure that your joints aren't stopping and starting you. So you can do that 5 times each side. And then you can come back to center, turn your toes in. Listen to your body on this and notice how it feels. Make sure when you come up, you're breathing in. That will prevent most head rushes as you come up. And then we come back into center and shake everything out. And you probably feel a lot of aliveness as a result of those arms being back. Maybe even some energy flowing through those wrists, definitely some activation through those hips. This is a great, simple sit break you can do at a 20-minute mark. You want to remember that that 20 minutes is when the body starts to shut down things that it's not using, muscles that it's not using. So we want to let the body know that we want to use our body, and that 20-minute mark, right? Science shows that that's the window that things in our body start to shut down. So if we can turn them back on, even for just a moment, even if it's just standing up, or if you're at a standing desk, even if it's just moving your legs in a different way, trying to get your legs up, so you're turning or you're firing back some synapses to the brain to say, hey, I still want to use this body. I still want it to be active. And that way the brain knows. And it's going to then fire some more synapses so that you have more creativity, more energy, and you're going to feel much more productive going forward for the next 20-minute block. All right. It's worth taking those sit breaks. It's worth taking care of your body. Definitely in the long run, it's going to pay off. I hope that helps. And again, happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you're wearing your green. I hope you enjoy some beautiful sunshine today. Don't forget to drink your water.